Hey, welcome back to Fat Boys Anime. We're bringing you that fat boy energy out here on a Saturday morning. We already watched our cartoons. We had our breakfast. I'm ready
Let's
to get it.
go. Come on,
Please
boys.
start.
I'm not gonna lie. I was up at 5 a.m. this morning watching anime. That's how real the
Gosh,
grind was.
dang.
It reminds
What
me of
the
like
heck?
childhood, being 9 years old, waking up before school, just popping on some cartoons.
Cartoon Network, man. That was my go-to before school in
Johnny
elementary
Bravo.
school. Yep, Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
And
Little
yep,
Powerpuff Girls.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Those were good times, man. A little bit of Ed and Eddie too. Man, I tell you what, take me back.
Tell you what,
Tell you what, boy. All right, you know what? We gotta bring that fat boy energy today. I'm freaking amped up. I
Let's
got
go.
breakfast in me.
it is
I got
Wednesday, my
coffee.
dudes.
It's Wednesday. What the heck? Where's the
Heck
time
yeah,
flown
this is
by?
when this drops, boy. New episodes
Yeah, that's true.
every
This does
Wednesday.
drop on Wednesday.
I had to like double check my calendar. I was like, what the heck's going on here? You said so.
We're getting y'all over that hump day. You know what we're trying to say?
What we got going this week?
Man, this is what we're gonna hit y'all with. We're gonna tell you a little bit about what we've been watching. It's probably nothing good from Nogs. Uh, little bit of a little bit of anime news, some Twitter polls, and we're gonna get into the results of which team was voted the best from our previous episode, which was the Battle Royale. Prepare to either be disappointed or just totally agree with how the results came out. We're gonna find out.
You know, just based on how all of our polls in the past have gone, I feel like these people probably dropped the ball again, unfortunately. Not gonna even lie.
There's a chance.
There's a high chance. There's not even a low chance anymore.
I'm getting
Let's
hyped for this matchup today too.
ooh, that
Oh,
matchup.
oh, oh, what the heck? Wow, I'm smoking something bad. What I forgot to tell y'all is we're getting into Levi, captain of the people with the swords that chop up titans, versus
The scouts. The
I
scouts.
forgot what it's called. The Scouts, captain of the Scouts, versus Kirito from Sword Art Online.
You know what always cracks me up? Tyler, around this time when we start the podcast and do our intro, Tyler always takes like one L around this time anyways. Remember
Always.
remember when he was calling Lelouch? Like what was that episode 1 or 2?
Yeah.
And I called the Black Bulls, or I called Black Clover the Black Bulls anime. I was like, gosh, dang, what are we doing out here, man?
Oh man. All
You just
right,
get
let's
those
open
brain
it
farts
up,
going.
man. Let's freaking get it, boys. All I know is I better win as far as my team goes, or else I'm walking off this podcast.
Well, I don't know if you're winning that, but you could redeem yourself by telling us some great. What you've been watching, Nogs? Maybe you've been watching something great. It's gonna redeem you. Let's see.
Man, I've been watching, like we talked about these last couple of times. I've been just keeping up with some of these newer ones that are going on. Sword Art Online, man, that thing just got me on the edge of my seat. I don't know if you guys watched this last episode though, man, but R.I.P. to a real one of the OGs. You guys know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say any names just in case you haven't seen it, but we like we like them potatoes. You know what I mean? Sword Art
Mm-hmm.
Online though, and then the other one I'm really getting into right now is Doctor Stone. Man, that one,
Ooh.
I just really like Doctor Stone. I can't wait till they kind of get more. It seems like they're trying to recruit more people from Sukasa's side, and they might have a new recruit. So that's kind of getting interesting still. But those are my two main ones. I'm watching a million other ones right now that I named in the previous one, but those are my two favorite as of right now.
I'm watching
Yeah.
this one. The Devil is a part timer.
Oh,
Ooh.
did you
It's like
finally
the
start that one?
situational irony one where the devil gets put
Yeah.
in and he's like a guy flipping burgers. It's pretty
Yep.
funny. Just the
It's a good
entire
one.
show setup is pretty ironic.
Yeah. That was actually pretty popular when the first season came out. It is pretty good though.
So what you're saying is only watch the first season?
I haven't watched the second season yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I need to go back and start that one. But should we just skip Tyler though? Because we all know what this guy's gonna say.
One
I
Piece.
almost, I almost caught up to One Piece. I'm like 4 episodes away.
Man, don't bring that disrespect up in my house. let me tell y'all. So we finished Mobile Suit Gundam, the oldest anime of all time, but it was good. It was solid. Uh, we're keeping up to date with One Piece, uh, The Promised Neverland, obviously Attack on Titan. Man,
What do you think
like
about Promise Neverland, man? They're getting a little bit of heat right now.
they are. Yeah, we mentioned that in our last episode that for some reason they decided to skip the Goldie Pond arc. Now, as I've mentioned, I don't read any manga, so when I say these things, I'm just pulling them out of my butt and off of things I see online. But supposedly, that Goldie Pond arc was the best arc in the Promised
Yeah,
Neverland manga. So I don't really know why they would do that. Like, I feel like some of these anime studios, maybe they're just getting a little fatigued. They're like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to roll out a One Piece or a Naruto. Let's do 100 episodes and get out of here. I don't know.
yeah. I
What do
heard
you
it
what do
costs a
y'all think?
lot. I heard it costs a lot of money to make an anime, so I'm sure that's probably a big reason behind it. But yeah, a lot of the manga readers, a lot of us manga readers out there, especially for Promise Neverland, are not too. We're a little baffled right now. You know what I mean? We're kind of confused like why the anime is doing what they're doing, but I mean, it's kind of like one of those things you got to just keep watching and just see how they, finish it out. So hopefully
Yeah.
it doesn't get any more confusing or they don't cut that much more out.
I mean, because it does kind of mess up your legacy as an anime. Like for me personally, I think Tokyo Ghoul is an amazing anime. But when I talk to people that read the manga, they're like they totally effed up what should have been season two in Tokyo Ghoul. So it's like you're kind of always going to leave a bad taste in people's mouth when you do it like that.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, that's one of those things though. If you're just like a person who just watches an anime, a lot of times that stuff might not even be big. I still like Tokyo Ghoul, but that second season did like throw me off. And I was a little salty at that for a while. But then like
Yeah.
overall, once the anime finished, I was like, I'd watch it again, like no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And
it's
that's
always
a just
heartbreaking.
classic discussion of book versus movie, right? People who read
Exactly.
the Harry Potter books or like the Hunger Games books are always going to say the books are better. But
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to
Mm,
enjoy it as two different forms of media within
that's
themselves.
that's the tricky part, and I feel like
yeah.
so many people can't do that. I don't know why. I personally, you know what I mean. Like when I watch, like whether it be a movie or like an anime, like I take it as it is. You know what I mean. I don't. I try not to compare it to anything. Especially the book version or the manga version of it, because like 9 out of 10 times, like the anime or the movie cannot like, because like I said, I mean, money's a big part of like making
Yeah.
this stuff. So
Yeah.
obviously they're not going to be able to fit everything in. They're going to have to make some cuts. So I mean, a lot of people kind of throw fits about that sometimes, but
And especially with American culture, there's something about people in the comic book realm and in the manga realm who are like, oh, that's not canon. I don't like it. It's not canon. It's not canon.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just fan service, and you just got to watch it
exactly.
for the fun that it is.
No, exactly. It is good. Well, yeah, when you get into those hardcore debates, you gotta put your belt on, man. You gotta make sure you have your big boy belt buckle on, especially because you know what I mean. If you're gonna argue with a hardcore fan about anything, you don't ever want to bring up the moment. You don't want to bring up a like non-canon episode because then they'll just roast you. But
Yeah.
like, I hate when they bag on those episodes because, like what you're saying, you know what I mean. It really adds just kind of, a little bit of that extra fan service that they give us, listeners and watchers out there. Which is, I can't complain about it though. But there's a lot of people who do. I don't know why.
Yeah, they really are almost like separate communities. The hardcore manga readers and the anime onlys, and your boy is an anime only with little manga spoilers sprinkled in there. But
Oh, that should be a debate. That should be one of our topics. You put the anime watchers versus the manga readers battle royale. Which group of people coming out on top?
hmm, I mean, some manga readers are kind of wild. Honestly, we'd probably get
Right.
effed up. We'd probably get effed up by the manga readers. But I'd be out there larping. I'd have a shield and I'd have a sword. But I also started a little. You know what? I decided, even though I think Baruto is kind of trash, if we're gonna do an anime podcast, I'm gonna have to have watched Baruto. So I'm just gonna grind it out, catch up to where it's at, because I've heard around episode 30 to episode 60, it gets really good. Would y'all
uh,
confirm?
maybe around episode 130.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right, I got a ways to go.
Oh man, Tyler, you're a rookie, man. You would watch Baruto. That's disappointing.
Well, because almost all power scaling debates, they throw in Momoshiki and Ishiki and Baryon mode Naruto. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to watch this if I can speak accurately to what's going on. So
Don't look like a chump out there.
yeah, I don't want to look like a Sakura. So
I respect it.
you want to get into a little bit of this Black Clover news they dropped this week?
Yeah. So
you
what is
got?
going on, man?
So supposedly, and this wasn't like this came through the underground tunnels of North Korea. This is like officially this was posted on social medias and stuff. They said the anime is supposedly going to end at episode 170, which I think is supposed to air in April. But coinciding with that is a huge announcement for Black Clover as a whole, which has kind of left people like, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so if they're saying ends at 170, is that complete over, end of story? Or is that just like a halt and they're going to pick up later? What does that mean?
They left it so open that I don't know what to expect. And the last thing I read that they're gonna do that big announcement on March 30th. So part of me has a feeling they're gonna be like announced like, oh, it's over for good, and then a couple hours later, like, nah, you chumps, April Fools type of stuff on this. But yeah, I don't know. I feel I don't want to believe that they're just gonna stop it out of nowhere, especially at the pace they've been going at. These guys have been like pulling a One Piece, especially for like a new
Yeah.
animes. Like new animes don't do what they're doing at all, and they just been grinding out episodes like left and right, man. Not even taking a break really. It felt like so. I feel like they're catching up to the manga. So I feel like they're gonna maybe go on a year break, maybe even like a 2 year break type of deal, and then kind of come back a little later.
Yeah, some people's speculation is that because they're having a hard time, or the manga's having a hard time, giving the anime enough space, is that they may transition from a weekly anime to a seasonal anime, like from a One Piece style to more like a Fire Force or a My Hero. So that would be whereas instead of they're dropping like 52 episodes a year, we're getting more like 12 to maybe 25 or something.
Like go back to like more of a My Hero. I wish My Hero
Yeah.
would crank out episodes a lot quicker, like how like Black Clover is, but man, Black Clover is just it's hard to keep up with the anime, man, because that's just how fast they were knocking it out.
Yeah.
So I
You
mean,
got to think about like studio fatigue though too. So
exactly.
their workers have got to be getting tired.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
we're cranking out one episode of this a week. Imagine all the production involved with
Yeah,
pushing out a Black Clover episode every week of the year.
Gosh.
like there's no vacation time at all during that.
Yeah.
My favorite is like when manga artists or the authors had to like go on like a hiatus, and it's just like these dudes have been like grinding for years just doing their manga, and then like out of nowhere it's like, all right, I'm taking like a 6 month break, and you're just like all
Yeah.
devastated. You're like, why? But then you kind of like look back on it and you're like, man, this dude was putting like an issue out every single week for like the last 6 years. So I think I do think of fatigue. I'm hoping. Could you imagine how devastating it'd be if they just straight up like, nah, Black Clover's canceled, and that's like all we ever got of it? That'd be devastating. I'd be devastated. So I'm hoping it's like a, we need a vacation time. We have a little bit of fatigue in there. We're gonna let the manga get a little further ahead, and then we're gonna come back with the anime, and get back to the old grind. I hope that's the case. If they cancel it, if they're gonna pull a Bleach and just like stop it,
Oh
I'm gonna
gosh.
be a little, I'm gonna be a little heartbroken. I'm not gonna even lie, but I'm hoping good news comes March, April-ish when that announcement happens.
Well, someone noticed that in one of the earlier like album covers or promo covers that the actual Black Clover manga slash anime put out for the Spade Kingdom arc, it said, it had a picture of the Dark Triad, and then in the caption it said, "An era ends and a new journey begins." So some people are thinking that's kind of a hint that they may not necessarily be ending, but something big is going to change, just either in the story or the way they do things.
What
So
if
But they
they
straight
kill-
up just like kill off Asta.
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah, becomes the main character. Oh gosh.
I'd be all salty. I'd boycott the whole thing, man. Manga and anime. If they
But
killed
that's
off
something we haven't seen before.
That would be wild.
Have you seen that, Noakes, in one where they kill off the actual main character?
man, I've seen it a couple times and it's just so confusing.
Yeah.
And we'll get into those. I'm gonna shoot you guys a list of what animes to watch, and we'll talk about those one of these days because I think that'd be a
Gotcha.
pretty good episode to talk about.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that before.
But I mean, what else we getting into today, Tyler?
Who won from last week based on our crowd favorite? I mean, we
Ooh.
know who actually won.
Remind them of the teams. Do you have the list with you?
I got you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Nick's team was Saitama, Natsu, Mugiwara. So that's Monkey D. Luffy, and then his lieutenant or his general was Koro Sensei. All right.
Ooh.
Now, I'll be honest. When I posted these, I put my team as Team A, Nick's team as Team B, and Nogues as Team C. So did that? I don't know. We'll see. Nogues'
If this
team
finishes in order, though, if it's like Tyler's first, Nick's second, I'm third, I gotta question the way he addressed this poll.
Just based on the
man.
interaction rate. And if you don't know what we're talking about right now, go back and listen to episode 7 that dropped a couple of weeks back. And then fast forward to now. We're getting into what the fans voted on based on that week's episode.
Yeah, so we're about to find out what people actually thought about these matchups. So Nogues' team was Ichigo, Naruto, Prime All Might, and Lelouch v Britannia for his general. All right.
I don't know how I lost.
I mean, we haven't even gotten to the results yet. Who
I have
knows
a feeling I lost, man. You know what? Tyler's body language is bothering me right now. He's saying that I lost.
He's acting a little too confident over
Yeah,
there.
he is, man. I swear.
I have
if
a
you guys
terrible
can see his
poker
body
face.
language, you guys know what I'm saying.
This is why I lost all that money on blackjack when we went to Vegas. But my team was Goku, Yusuke Urameshi, Meliodas, and my strategist was Shikamaru.
Trash.
So, okay, I guess we'll start from the bottom and go
I
up.
swear this dude is garbage right here, man.
Okay, so I'll just mention quickly the Instagram. We don't, the people on Instagram were a little bit shy. One of our friends, Demetrius, he said my team would win, but he said his sister said Nick's team would win because of Saitama. And then another guy said my team would. But let's just throw out Instagram because it wasn't as consistent. So
to be fair, though, we did say it kind of come down to that between Goku and Saitama.
Yeah. So, all right. So on Instagram or on Twitter, they had okay. We'll start with the generals. They put our generals in order. Lelouch got 15%, so he got third place. Now, see, but I gotta say, I don't agree with that because I think Lelouch was probably actually the best.
What?
But I didn't take the
going
poll.
on
I didn't
here,
take the poll,
man?
so I can't help you, bro.
Oh,
All right.
go ahead. Finish your thing, man. I'm a little baffled right now. All right.
I agree. Second place was Koro Sensei with 35.
Whoa! Okay, Tyler rigged the shit.
I
out
don't
of
know,
this.
bro. I don't
This
know.
mother effer, man.
I don't know.
What the hell?
And I even tried to help y'all out because this is what I said. If you got to pick one of them to be your team captain and capture the flag, who are you going with? Well, easily Lelouch or Koro Sensei would be more useful than Shikamaru and capture the flag, but all right. Shikamaru was first place with 50%.
50%. 50%. This dude got 50%.
I don't know what to say about that.
Man,
okay.
I'm disappointed already. Toss these results out, man.
I'm kind of disappointed
You
for you
better
guys.
recall this stuff, man.
I don't know if these polls were a little off, but they've been off as mentioned before.
Oh man.
as far as our combatants, it gets worse, Nogs. It gets worse, brother. All right. So,
No.
yeah, this is just funny to say. So Ichigo, Naruto, and Prime All Might came out with 7%.
Oh my goodness. What is this?
Go take a
Oh,
nap,
man.
boy.
And I tried to make it straighter. Pretty simple. I said, which of these three teams are winning in an all-out scrap? All right, so y'all, okay. Well, that's what y'all said. Second place with Saitama, Natsu, Luffy. Nick's team got 40%.
Ooh, that means it's close, boy.
And then my team, Goku, Yusuke, Meliodas was first place with 53%. Man, that's all she wrote, boys.
That's pretty close. That means that we're off by not too much. Except for Nogs over there. He just got bad luck on the draw.
Man, I'm speechless
Well,
right now. This is booty. That's what I'm saying, man. First of all, these kids must have been like 12 years old, right? That's the only way you pick. That's the only way these results happen. First of all, I'm talking about my boy Ichigo, end of series Ichigo. This dude's like one of the strongest anime characters of all time.
oh, by far.
Naruto. We all know how strong Naruto is now, man. This dude's a legend. My only like weak spot is All Might. These people out here smoking.
The people have spoken, Nogs.
They are
They said,
smoking
take a
against me.
seat.
They said off with this dude's head, man. He's garbage.
What I want to know is how many fake accounts does Tyler have that he's just voting for himself?
That he won everything. They picked Shikamaru over everyone. I could have been okay with Koro Sensei beating Lelouch, but Shikamaru beating both of them, that one's a little skeptical right there. That's a little skeptical.
That's a little suspect.
Shikamaru can't even beat any of those guys in a fight if it came down to it. You know what I mean? 1-on-1.
Yeah, I think people on Twitter, they're voting based off of who they'd rather go get a latte with. They're like, yeah, Shikamaru, he's kind of sexy. He's got a goatee. I don't think they're actually thinking about, okay, who would win in this competition.
Yeah, those are fair though. I mean, I think we kind of talked about it last episode too, right? We're saying who was going to win between Goku and Saitama. Essentially, might win the overall battle between this. So I mean, I do kind of get the results, but you know what I mean. I need, come on, 7%. I need at least like 18. I need at least double of 7, man. Come on, I pled my case. Like, come on now. We know you got your two boys are gonna be scrapping it out like we said last time, and that leaves like 3-on-2 with my team versus your guys's. But I guess that's not good enough, man. But if it is 1-on-1, right? You know what? I think my team probably does lose to both of your guys just because of your guys' first picks. But man, I just 7%. 7%. Damn.
You know,
well, let's start keeping a tally. Next time we're gonna take some bets.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll make the loser do something. We'll figure it out.
They have to wear like an Eno shirt on the following podcast or something.
Hike them up, boy.
All right. Should we get into? You want to do 2 Twitter polls and then we'll drop into this big heated versus battle?
Let's
get
do 1 Twitter poll.
Let's do one.
And go
Let's
on.
do one. Let's
I'm
do
down
one.
with anything.
You know what? No, I'll give you this real quick. Just a parting gift because you got your clap so bad.
Is this guy gonna put some freaking salt on the wound or what, man?
I'll
Razor
tell you
blades
this,
and lemon juice.
Man, he's a sore winner, man.
I'm gonna hype you up. I'm gonna hype you up a little bit. If this had been a power scaling, like if the polls people were all only power scalers, I'll tell you they probably would have put your team at 2, because usually Ichigo is usually like
supposed to make me feel better, man.
Yeah, you still would have gotten first, but you might have gotten 2. All right.
Who gets first? Based off your power scaling.
I think just off of power scaling, my team would have been 1, your team would have been 2, your Nick's team would have been 3. Because even though Saitama just destroys everybody in his verse, whatever, based off of what people have seen him do, he only gets scaled at like solar system or galaxy level attack power, whereas people usually put Ichigo at like low multiversal, which means he could destroy multiple universes.
Who's your second pick, Tyler? Again, remind me.
Nugs is like, hold on. So my second pick was Yusuke Urameshi. I think people put him at like around universal.
See, I think Naruto beats Yusuke in a 1-on-1. 1v1, I think Naruto beats that.
I would say they're pretty close because a lot of power scalers with Baryon mode, Naruto, they've been putting him at possibly low multiversal or universal.
All right, let's get on to this poll, man. I'm about to be fired up again. All I know is I always get fired up on these polls, all right? These guys they got me questioning some stuff, that's for sure.
Okay, so obviously this poll came out before the Black Clover news, I'll tell you that. So it said, which new gen main character is going to dominate the next decade?
Ooh.
Basically, which of these people could potentially be that Ichigo or that Naruto or that Luffy of the early 2000s? So we had number 1, Shinra Kusakabe from Fire Force. Number 2, we had Asta from Black Clover. Number 3, we had Midoriya from My Hero Academia. And number 4, we had Baruto.
Ooh. So the way you word this, right, is like what MC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is gonna dominate? Because if it's an anime, I think my answer is different. If I'm thinking about like what MC might have the bigger impact or like might be considered more strong in his anime, I'm going Fire Force, man. I'm going with my boy Shinra. This dude is already like a top tier fighter, right? He's only gonna keep on getting stronger. This dude always like has already been kind of fighting some of the elite dudes already, and that's only gonna keep on continuing. You know what I mean? Baruto's strong for his age, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's more of a journey to tell. Deku's not. I think within this next, I mean, hopefully they progress the anime a lot more. But I think in this next like 10 years, he might not even be the strongest hero yet. He's definitely not the strongest, even close. You know what I mean? My boy Lemillion's over there just dominating, and I think I gotta go Fire Force on that one. I think he's gonna have a bigger impact, and I think he's gonna rise up the ladder a lot quicker than some of those other guys. And Asta would probably be second in there, but I think there's a lot more competition, I think, in Black Clover, and there's a lot more story development. So maybe that's why I don't have him at number 1. But I gotta go, my boy Shinra.
My Hero as an anime is good,
Exactly.
but Deku as a main character is kind of trash. Honestly, like he's crying and he's all weak. His costume whack. Yeah. He's not that good of an actual MC.
His shoes whack. His hair wacky.
I think more.
And then Baruto is just basically an entire series about fan service.
Yeah.
So it's just more showing him following in his father's or Sasuke's footsteps. So I think Baruto's out too. It's going to come down to Asta and it's going to come down to Shinra.
Yeah, that's exactly what my thought was. I think Baruto, man. I think first of all, I gotta admit it, man. I still only watch Baruto just to catch a glimpse of Naruto or Sasuke in it. So maybe I'm not giving it a fair chance. Maybe I'm being super biased, but I don't know, man. Baruto's a chump in my opinion. Get him out of here. My boy Asta's right there though. Like on this like latest time skip in the anime, my boy got yacked. You know what I mean? So throw props to him. This dude over here looking jacked, man, ready to just freaking dice people up. I'm about it, man. But I'm going with Shinra.
Yeah, because Asta's traditionally strong, but Shinra, didn't he already break the speed of light?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This dude is just on another power level.
Yep.
In my main seeds, I like to see them absolutely destroying fools during the anime.
And Deku, honestly, Deku might become like the strongest person out of these 4 people. Probably not just based on the universe, but he might have like the greatest impact in his overall anime, just like as far as a solo person. But exactly what Nick said, man. Deku, he's being a chump right now. You know what I mean? This dude's always crying. The only way he can actually like do something cool is if he breaks all the bones in his body, man. Like
Yeah.
he has a lot more growth than some of these other characters right now.
Yeah. And I would say, you know what? I think the results matched up with what y'all said. So we had Baruto in 4th place at 12% because I'm only like 10 episodes deep, but this dude comes out the gate disrespecting the man that saved the Leaf Village and got everybody out of the infinite Tsukiyomi, and you call him, oh, he's an old man. This guy is lame. My dad sucks. You know what? Go kick rocks, Baruto. You're trash. All right. Number 3 was Shinra with 15%. I think Shinra's, well, depending on what happens with this Black Clover news, Shinra I think could definitely maybe have the highest ceiling out of these 4. But number 2 was Deku with 24%. Yeah, Deku, he just needs to he needs to grow some fuzz on his peaches. For those of you that don't know what that means, you're going to have to look it up. But he's not there yet. He's got to start drinking his coffee black or something. And then Asta, bro, I think they saw Asta come out this week with those freaking fat glutes, fat quads. This dude's coming out here yacked with the creatine, and they said, you know what, Asta, 49%. Let's go.
Dang.
This guy's the one.
He took it, man. I like that. I agree with the people for once. Finally,
I
like it, man.
Finally hit on it. Gosh.
I can agree with that. I'm not mad. I think my pick was Shinra, but I think some popularity for those animes kind of has some influence on it. So I definitely see why the results were how they were.
He just sat there and hit a tree for an entire arc just to get buff. So I can see how Asta just worked his way through it, right?
The grind.
Yeah. I got to throw in this fan storyline here real quick if you're watching Baruto, Tyler.
Okay.
So here's the story setting on how this worked. Naruto's sitting there with Hinata and his 2 kids on a peaceful day. They're eating ramen. It's like 200 episodes deep into Baruto. And then all of a sudden you hear Madara come on. And he's like, so this is what your ideal world looks like. And then they just wake up. And it's back at the end of the 4th Great Ninja War.
Oh,
that would be legit.
That'd be wild.
Crazy.
That would be sick. And then Madara just kills them all, and that's how it ends.
Yeah.
Talk about just playing a whole audience. Just playing them, man.
You just friggin' string them along for 200 episodes. That would be madness.
That would.
Sometimes you should probably let your fans write your storyline for you.
Sometimes that's the best way to finish, right? A book or a movie series, whatever it may be. I hate those though. I love it, but I hate them all at the same time.
Yeah, because as someone once said, "What's a Baruto?" He's trash. Y'all, are we about to get into another heated versus matchup?
Let's get it, man.
So we are breaking down Levi Ackerman, captain of the Scouts in Attack on Titan, the Slayer of the Beast Titan.
Oh, come on!
The human fidget spinner.
What?
I got that bowl cut. What's up?
What?
He said, "No girls. I just need swords, baby."
What? Let's go.
And then he's going against Kirito, the top dog in Einsgard, the guy who built a log cabin with his girlfriend.
Man,
that's all I got.
We got some bias over here already, man.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Tyler's thinking, man. He picked a log. Dude, you gotta hype him up like Kirito, man. Maybe snag like one of the hottest chicks in all of anime. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This dude bagged one of the babes. Maybe one of the first OG dual sword wielders. You know what I'm saying? The dude to climb the top of the tower You know what I'm saying, man? Come on, put respect on his name.
All right. We'll put a
Heck.
little respect.
This dude's all you see, he's already influencing voters right now, man. This
Just
guy
like he
knows
does
a
on
lot.
Twitter.
Yeah, he does bogus questions, man. Alrighty, man. So all
So let's
right.
get some world setting in here. What Kirito are we talking about? Because if we're talking about Kazuto, right after he comes out of Ironclad, he's all decrepit because he hadn't eaten in 8 months. And we're just talking about the actual main character and not his virtual projection of himself. I think he's kind of screwed. But that's not what we're saying here, right?
No, yeah. I mean, but like obviously, right? If we took like Kirito and put him in the world of like Attack on Titan, Levi smokes him easy, right? But probably a little bit vice versa though, right? You put Levi in the game that he's not has never played before, he might get smoked by our boy Kirito too. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to use our imaginations a little bit and kind of like play it out as if there was like an even blend to it. So what we're kind of focusing on, right, is who's better with the sword essentially. These guys are both pretty much dual wielders. You know what I mean? So like if they were both in a video game setting, imagine like two maxed out dudes. Use your imagination. I said because obviously if you put Kirito in Attack on Titan with his just normal self, this dude gets smoked. You know what I mean? But vice versa. You know what I mean? Not like not all the best football players in the world are good at Madden. You know what I mean? The best players in Madden would smoke, the best football players. So if you put a really good sword fighter and Levi in a video game, he might not be that good. So we got to try to blend it somewhat.
So maybe they're in like a town somewhere. But is it multi-level to where Levi can use his maneuvering rig?
Yes, to a degree. So yeah, he's like in a town, right? So he can use his like he got some buildings to jump on, but you know what I mean? I think that might be the trick though. Can Kirito get him in more open space?
But
Is
do
that
we give Kirito like Kirito from Alfheim Online? Does he have wings and he can fly around and he's dual wielding? Or are we putting like Kirito from Ironclad where he's just solely an akimbo swordsman?
ooh. Does that change your let me ask you this, does that change your opinion?
Yeah, definitely.
I personally if I think if Kirito has wings, I don't think he still beats Levi if Levi's able to use his maneuvering around buildings and everything, you know what I mean?
It would make the fight more even.
Yeah, it definitely makes it more even, right? Because like in an extreme situation, like if Kirito's just on the ground, Levi probably smokes him if he's around buildings. But if you're in an open area where they're both just like on the ground, I think Kirito wins. But if you kind of blend that together, you got some buildings around. Let's give Kirito wings. I still think Levi smokes him. You know what I mean? If there's buildings around, I don't
But
think
do
that.
we give him his magic abilities as well for Kirito?
Hmm.
I say we could give him his magic abilities. I think those are going to be huge and helpful. But let's be real, my boy Levi over here smoking Titans. You know what I mean? Let's not act like those guys don't
That's
have
true.
powers, and he's over there slicing these guys down. You know what I mean? Like the trickiest part about Titan, right? They only have one weak spot. Kirito's going to have many weak spots.
For Levi, should we give him just his swords and his like grappling hook things, or should we also give him those like missile launchers that they've been using in the last season? What do you think?
They get missile launch. He'll get missile launchers too. So the way I'm thinking about it, right? They each have like every single power they're capable of using.
Okay.
Right? But like the terrain though is going to be like a big influencer, right? So that's I think that's part of the debate though. Like what terrain is who's winning, like who's going to beat who in like what terrain though, and then we'll try to decide on who comes out on top. You know what I
Another
mean?
thing that's a deciding factor on there is how much ammo does Captain Levi have?
That could
Because
be a
Mm.
big
after a
factor.
while, using their maneuvering rigs, that's using up different
Yep.
swords essentially, right? So if he's only got a certain number of those, that might set him back a little bit.
So I think he does only have a certain number of those, right? Because the way I'm thinking about it, they do run out in the anime or the manga too. Obviously, they do run out of some of that stuff. So I think it's fair to say that he could potentially run out. The question is, does the fight last that long? You know what I mean? Because typically with dual sword wielders, you know what I mean. It's probably not going to be that long of a fight to where he's really running out. You know what I mean? I don't. It's not going to be a drawn out battle, in my opinion, to where it's like super strategic. I think these dudes are going to be, they have to be in each other's grills. Obviously, they're fighting with
Oh
swords, so
yeah.
they're going to be going in and scrapping. You know what I mean? Do we have crazy angry Levi, right? Like, did Captain Irwin just die? You know what I mean? Did he just freaking get murdered? And he's over here ready to, like, is he pissed off like he was when he was gonna scrap with the Beast Titan? You know what I mean? Does
When
he
he's
have that?
bloodlusted.
Exactly. Is he bloodlusted right now? Because you know what I mean? This dude might finish the fight in 10 seconds. But let's be real though. My boy Kirito gets this dude away for some buildings, has a little open area. Who's better with the swords? You know what I mean? Without maneuvering. I think Kirito's better with swords. I don't know. What are you guys thinking, man?
So Kirito, close to mid-range, he's great with these combo moves, right?
Exactly.
His flight gives him a little extra capability, but dual wielding swords, that's got to take up a lot of stamina.
Yep.
So you're right in the fact that he doesn't have that long of a time to actually complete the job.
Yep.
Where if you flip it around, Captain Levi, he's going to be highly focused on speed and maneuverability. He's going to be focused on getting around Kirito, trying to find a weak spot, always staying kind of outside his edge of guard. That way he could sweep in at any moment with his rig.
Yep.
Well, and Kirito, he might be better if you're if you take away Levi's gear and just give him swords. Kirito's probably better with swords, but with Levi's gear, he's basically Spider-Man with two swords. Like this fool, he can be going up and then down and then between your legs and then cut off your nuts and then cut off your ear and then give you a haircut while he's doing it. So I don't know.
I
This
personally
is tricky.
I think Kirito though. So like this is another thing. I think Levi might have to land a killing blow probably sooner than Kirito, right? Because let's be real, my boy, that Starburst stream, you know what I mean? If Kirito starts putting together combos, Levi's gonna be in a world of hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think as far like we talked about swordsman wise and putting together combos and a string of attacks, I think Kirito might be better in that. You know what I mean? Levi has to be a little more, a little more offensive earlier on, in my opinion, because I think he's gonna have to land a blow or a killing blow earlier than Kirito has to, just because Kirito is a little more skilled with swords, in my opinion, and he's going to be able to put combos together. And I think he's slightly better with defense when it comes to fending off other sword attacks, right? Because obviously it's not like Levi's like straight up fighting people, with swords. He's fighting Titans who don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then that's the other thing. I think Levi's way stronger than Kirito. And I think strength is going to have a big part to play in it.
But strength, though, so if Kirito has any extra time, remember the end of season 1, he was able to put spells on himself, which were basically like protective barriers to help increase his strength.
Exactly.
So if he can find any opening moment, he's going to be putting spells on himself. That way he has that extra layer of protection.
So to me, I'm super conflicted, right? Because it's like early on, I think Levi needs to, for me to like solely side with Levi. If he's able to like within that like first minute of offense, right? If he's able to take down Kirito and land a fatal wound, he wins, right? But the longer it gets drawn out, I think he starts becoming at a disadvantage. I think Kirito has more time because he would technically have more magic to work with, right? Technically, he's in a video game setting, right? And he could add skills, do healing, all that type of stuff. But vice versa though, that would give Levi time, right, to go into his like home field advantage. Because I think if they're like around buildings, right, my boy Levi's he's good with the technique. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a little more stealthy.
He's a little stealthy if if he's around trees or buildings, and I think he's going to be a lot quicker to land that killing blow. But I don't know, boys. I'm conflicted right now. I'm trying to talk myself into one side, but then I kind of seen that the other side might be better. I don't know.
Well, and with those missiles, Levi, at the beginning, he might have more of an advantage, like long range, because he can just pop one of those off and then hide behind a tree or something. And I don't know. Like maybe I'm trying to think. I think if Kirito gets hit with one of those, he's gonna get kind of effed up. Like his best bet's gonna be either to dodge, but because I think if he deflects it and then it explodes, if he takes a point blank explosion in the face, like his magic is gonna help him out, but he's gonna take some damage if gets hit with too many of those.
So are we
But
putting them in like they're running into each other on the battlefield for the first time and meeting each other? Or is it more like an MMA style fight where they get to train each other's weaknesses for months on end before they actually just step into the octagon, step into the ring to fight each other?
well, let me ask you this: in both of those situations, what are you thinking? Who wins what?
How it comes down to for me is still a toss up, but it's definitely going to be one of those ones that ends in round one. And all it's going to take is for one of them to slip up, to misstep, to
Yep.
overshoot just a little bit, and then the other one's going to be done. I don't know. I really don't know which one it's going to come down to, but I know one of them is getting taken out quickly.
Quick. I
Yeah.
think if it's super quick, I think if it's a round one, like so, like right, we'll just like reference UFC. If it's a 5 round fight, if this battle's gonna finish in round one, I think Levi's gonna win by knockout, right? But I think if it's a round two, three, four, or five, I think Kirito is gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
No way. His stamina
Yeah,
is going to be shot after round two.
yeah,
He's
I
not
don't know.
standing by round three, my
Yeah,
guy.
but then that goes back to our question though. What if like Levi's maneuvering gear runs out of gas?
Oh,
You
he's
know,
out of
runs out of
ammo.
slingshot. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Oh shoot! No more missiles. No more
Exactly. So
sticks to.
you just got Levi on the ground with his two swords. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, shoot!
And like that's the tricky part. That's why I'm like, if it gets in that situation, if they're just on the ground, I think, like I said, Kirito has better combos, and I think he has slightly better defense when it comes to fending off swords. Because this, let's be real, Kirito was fighting straight killers, man. This dude was fighting some of the best swordsmen in in the game, in all of SAO, and he's fighting dudes
Yeah.
with guns and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not like he doesn't know how to defend against guns. So even if you have like a big missile shot at, this dude was over here, getting shot at too before. So I think
Well,
early on, Levi. Later on, Kirito. How long is it going to last?
but I also feel like Levi might be better at coming up with a plan than Kirito, because like Kirito, he's probably a better swordsman, but Levi, not only is he like the best swordsman in AoT, he's probably the smartest strategist outside of Captain Irwin.
Oh, I don't
So
know
this
about that
this dude,
though.
I don't know. This
That's
guy
a
might
little
cook
I
up.
questionable.
I think that's pretty far off. I don't even think Levi's that great of a strategist.
What?
I think he's just so skilled with the sword that he doesn't really need a plan. Obviously, is he super smart in fighting? Definitely. But if you think about it, who are the leaders, right? Captain Irwin was the one who called the strategies, and then even Hanji was like the next one calling the strategies, and then my boy Aaron over here just going off script and calling his own strategies. You know what I mean? Levi's just kind of flying by the wind, just going with the wind. And then when he needs to pull his swords out, this dude obviously puts in the work still. You also got to remember Kirito is like he's the essentially was the best guy at this game because he was so smart and strategic with this
That's
game.
true.
You know what I mean? That's the reason how he got good. He knew how to build his character up, and then he was also smart and like knowing his enemies too.
This is pretty tough.
But Kiryatov to me is a master of one art. That's sword skill, right?
Yeah.
I think Levi has multiple tools in his toolbox to where he's more of a mixed artist of being able to pull these different things out to try to adapt to the situation.
I can see that. I mean, I think definitely like, maybe the smarter one might win between the two, or who definitely has the better like game plan. Well, how that's going to be hard to call because if these guys are just tossed in a world where they're like they don't know anything about each other, who does adapt quicker? You know what I mean? Who's a little more quicker with adjusting to a certain person's fighting style? Like does Kirito figure out Levi's maneuvering that quick? You know what I mean? Because if he does, I think he could win. But if he
Yeah.
doesn't and Levi just strikes out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Levi's a dog, man. He's a snake. He's gonna go straight for the throat, like right off the rip.
Because Levi's always in these high pressure scenarios in his own world, right?
Exactly.
So he's in life or death every day he steps out there.
Yep.
Kirito was also had that, but I think he's better at adapting to different scenarios because he's thrown into all these different worlds and has to learn the ins and out of that world.
Yep.
So adaptation principles, I think Kirito's better. But high stress loading, it's Levi.
Oh, you gotta remember though, high stress levels. I mean, Levi goes through it every day, but you know what I mean? Kirito, he was in a video game that if you die, you lost your life. And this dude decided to go solo. You know what I mean? That's like high stress. Like
That's
that is
true.
high stressful right there. Can you imagine being a solo player in a video game where if you die, you're dead for good, and you're
I'm
just
dying
going
for
out
sure.
and you're just going out there climbing dungeon levels and just scrapping dudes? Like that's pretty stressful too. But Levi, I mean, like, if you're asking me, like, I would rather like deal with like monsters in a dungeon than fighting a Titan. Titans freak me out, man.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like coming across a Titan?
Get your legs ripped off.
Exactly.
And you just got one shot. If you miss that one spot, that's
Yep.
it. They
Yep.
grabbing you, you're done.
Hmm. Okay, so let's say each of them land like, a decent blow. Who do you think is going to be able to fight through injury and fight through pain better
So
if
you're
they've
saying
taken a couple?
who has a better chin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who does have a better chin? I don't know. Levi has gotten jacked up a couple times that we've seen, and in the manga it happens a couple more times coming up soon. And this dude keeps going forward a little bit, man. But Kirito's a dog. That's it's kind of hard though, because right, you're talking about Kirito in a video game setting. This dude was over here scrapping. What was that? Like that big Minotaur thing? I can't remember that monster now. But
Yeah.
where he's over there, where he did a Starburst stream, and they're both just slicing each other up, and his health bar almost went down to zero, and it was like 1%, and then he passed out. Like you know what I mean? Like he could take it on the chin. But you know what I mean? Who collapses first? I think these both guys take it on the chin. You know what I mean? It's like, who's gonna fall first? I don't know who's gonna fall first,
I
man. This
don't
is too
know.
tough to tell.
I feel like Levi is a little bit crazier. Like Levi could low key be a serial killer if he ends up not in the scouts or something. So he might have a little more edge to him. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a dog, that's for sure. Like I said, this dude's going for the throat right away. But can he land it on the throat? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this dude gonna get a kill shot cleanly right away? Because I don't know. Like, I'm still favoring Kirito, right? I think this dude has like combo wise, this dude's gonna string together a better combo than Levi does.
Well, and it's probably going to be awkward for Levi because he's used to fighting monsters that have big targets. Like, okay, I'm aiming for the knees or I'm aiming for the neck. He's not used to fighting an individual one-on-one who's equally skilled with
Yeah.
the sword. Whereas Kirito does have a lot of experience doing that. So that could be what puts Levi at a big disadvantage. Because if you're fighting the Beast Titan or you're fighting the female Titan, you don't have to worry about swords and projectiles coming at you. You're aiming for weak spots on a huge target.
Imagine like how hard you gotta swing that sword though to just like slice
Yeah.
through a tie-in. Like in all honesty, like Levi might swing his sword, and he might just slice through Kirito's sword and just like straight lop off his head. Like you know what I mean? There's the
Yeah.
strength behind that has to be pretty insane.
I think Kirito's sword is stronger though.
Yeah, it definitely has to have some like magic abilities, right? It's a
Yeah,
video
so
game.
even
Yeah.
if Levi can hit harder, Kirito's swords is going to be stronger and more durable.
Yep. So I think maybe what this comes down to is who's going to have the best counterattack, right? When these two come around the corner and they hit swords for the first time, who's going to put the counter better together? You know what I mean? Is Kirito going to come back, do a little Starburst stream, or is Levi going to come, bounce off a building, do a little spinning like sword slice like he does when he comes around the corner? Like who's gonna have the better counterattack? You know what I mean?
Here's how I'm calling it. I'm saying they come around the corner, both pull their swords out, start feeling
Yep.
each other out. Levi hits him with that maneuver shot, comes around the back, slices his neck. This is over in 240 seconds.
Dang.
You just calling it like if Kirito's a Titan. You know what I mean? I think Kirito had. All right. So final answer, is it Levi?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All
It's
right.
Levi. It's over in 2 minutes. That's
2
it.
minutes. Shoot. All right. You know.
Dang.
All right, Tyler. Are you leaning any certain way right now? I know you're more of a Attack on Titan fan than a Sword Art, but
You
what
know,
are you thinking, man?
I'm a way bigger Attack on Titan fan and a way bigger Levi fan, but I gotta say, I think Levi might struggle a little bit with someone who is just an equally, if not maybe better swordsman. I think it's gonna throw him off because he's not used to that kind of combat. So I think, okay, that's the only way he wins. I think, like Nick said, if he catches Kirito off guard, slices his throat, whatever, he's done. But if Kirito gets, even a couple minutes to kind of figure out how Levi maneuvers, then I think it's over because he's better at reading moves, reading blades, parrying attacks and stuff. So,
All
okay,
right.
I guess
The
I'm gonna say Kirito. I think.
Oh shoot, man!
Oh,
I'm not gonna even lie. Your guys' too. Oh man, this is throwing me off. You guys just threw me off. I was expecting Tyler to go Levi, and I was expecting Nick
I know.
to
Yeah,
go
that's what I thought.
Kirito, man.
Yeah, because I'm a bigger SAO fan.
That's all.
But I
know,
think
let's-
Tyler's exactly right. If this is over early, it's Levi. If this goes on, Kirito.
Ooh. Oh no. We can't have 3 people, man, on this pod. We need either 2 or 4 because I can't be a deciding factor. This is too stressful, man. No. Man, first of all, I just gotta talk about how you guys just threw me off right there, because hands down, Nick, bigger SAO fan, easy. Tyler, bigger Attack on Titan fan, easy, man. How did you guys pick this, man? How did you guys come up? All right, so we're putting money on it. Nick, you're saying Levi. Tyler, you're saying Kirito.
100 racks.
100
Oh,
rags. Oh goodness gracious. No. Alrighty. The pick is in, boys. Man, I'm nervous because apparently to all our fans out there who are voting, they just think I'm garbage. I'm nervous. I'm nervous to even say anything right now. Shoot. All right. So in all seriousness, right? So I'm literally leaning towards like you guys. If Levi comes around that corner, they crack swords for the first time. I think this dude's bouncing off using, he has a better maneuverability, right? If they're like in a building or around trees, I do think he takes down Kirito. But I gotta say this, man, that ain't happening. My boy Kirito's senses are too good, man. He's gonna block that. He's gonna counterattack, and my Starburst stream combo is coming in, man. And this dude is gonna put pieces on Levi, man. This guy's just gonna piece his ass up, and then boom, finishing blow, slice him up, man. Round 1 knockout, Kirito. Let's go. I just switched up on that. I said round 1 was Levi all the way. Round 1 knockout, Kirito. 100 racks on it, man. That's like plus 1,000 betting odds. Let's get it.
Dang.
Oh shoot.
Man, rest in peace to our boy Levi. He said, "Give up on your dream and die."
Man, I'm still shocked how you guys picked. I was not expecting that at all. That was a good one, though. I like that. Dude, this is why we have this. This is why we have this, man. This is why this is a topic right here. Just surprised, man.
Well,
Let's
Attack
take
on
on what the fans think.
Yeah. That'll
So,
be the deciding
Is
factor.
that how you're going? You're gonna say Kirito?
We got 2 Kiritos versus 1 Levi.
But okay, I'll bet you a pie right now.
Oh, a pie.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet you like one of your was that Reese's pie that you made? That's what we're betting.
A Reese's pie. I got you. Let's put a pie on it. Let's do it.
Well, I can already predict if we throw this on Twitter, Levi is probably gonna body because people just want to have Levi as babies. They're not really thinking about what kind of swordsman Levi is. It's
I
just
don't know, man.
Are you scared? Are you backing out of your vote
No,
right now?
no. You know
I gotta
what?
keep to my vote, but I'm just saying I know it's not gonna go well for me and Nogs if
No.
we put a pie on this Twitter poll.
I guarantee you, if we look this up, I bet you a lot of people are going to say Kirito. I think a lot of people are going to be like, you know what? The only way. So I feel like there's only one way Levi could really win. I think he's very adaptable and whatnot, but I think he has to kill him early on. Any other than that, I don't think there's any chance for him winning within like that first like minute.
Yeah. Well, and it's always tricky trying to do like taking Attack on Titan characters outside of their verse because it's such a weird verse. It's basically humans only fighting Titans, whereas like any other thing, Kirito he fights humans and monsters, but Attack on Titan is kind of it's always a human on Titan combat, so it's hard to foresee how they would do against someone who's not just a scout or not just a Titan. So I don't know. I gotta stick with what I said.
Yeah. All
I
right.
think
You know what, man? We got some skin on the line now, all right? We got a pie on the line. You know what I mean?
mm.
I know you voters out there, you guys that thought I'm trash in the past. I get it. My A squad team wasn't quite A grade, unfortunately, even though that Lelouch poll was a little whack right there, but you know what I mean? We'll save that. Well, actually, we already talked about that. You mother effers. I'm still salty. I'm still salty about
You
that.
dirty
You know what?
dogs.
But we're sticking to this topic, okay? Man, I'm sorry. You know what? Vote for this, man. There's a pie on it. Vote Canito.
Yeah. After the episode drop next week on Wednesday, I'm looking forward to my free pie on my doorstep.
Oh God,
Let's go, my guy.
Dang it. Man.
man. Well, you know what? Since this one is just a one-on-one, we're gonna put this on our Instagram poll to the Instagram story poll. I think we'll get a little more accurate feedback than what we're gonna get on our Twitter poll. No disrespect to our Twitter followers, but so we'll see. Well, we might even have one poll that says Levi, one poll that says Kirito, and then we might have to subtract the difference in the percentages. But
Where do they find us on socials, Tyler?
man, so if you're trying to vote in this poll and you want to have Kirito's babies or you want to have Levi's babies, they're fictional, so you can't do that. But we are on Fat Boys Anime. That's BOIS on Instagram, on TikTok, and then on our Twitter, we are Fat Boys BOIS Anime 1. Just the number, no signs, no numerals. Oh, wait, number 1 is a numeral. Okay, so just the number 1. All right. So we're gonna put the poll on Twitter. We're gonna put it on Instagram. Let us know what you think. If me and Nogs have to buy pie, so be it. I'm gonna get Nick a pumpkin pie because that's my favorite. And I'm just
That's my favorite. Oh man, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. We appreciate the interaction. We have a good time going over these results, even though I'm getting bodied apparently currently. You know what I mean? We definitely enjoy this interaction. So, man, we look forward to it.
Yeah, what I learned today is you guys are all up on Kazuto's nuts. I wasn't thinking that, my guy.
Oh man, what is going on?
man, you know what? But it's always fun. We always have a good time. And man, we appreciate all our listeners. Y'all rock. You could be listening to a podcast about baking cookies, but you decided to check out Fat Boys Anime. So much
Yeah.
love. Much love, my friend.
Why listen to a podcast about fighting, about baking, you know what I mean? About relationships? We're doing all that right here, my boys, my girls. We're doing all that in one. Of course, we're in the anime universe, right? But we talk about it all. You want to talk about cooking? Go check it out. We've already talked about it. You want to talk about fighting? Too late. You guys are late to the game, man. We've talked about it. You want to talk about relationships? Guess what, man? We have some hot episodes coming up about who the best couples are going to be and whatnot in the in the future. And I'm pretty sure we've talked about it already before. So go back and check it out.
Yeah, every single Wednesday we're gonna be out here trashing on Tyler's anime picks. That's what it's about.
All right, hold up. Well, I'll be trashing back. That's right. If you want to come to the the Ellen DeGeneres show of anime, the Oprah Winfrey show of anime, the Dr. Phil show of anime. Come check us out at Fat Boys Anime.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
All right, have a good one. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.